At a price to suit your pocket, pick up the phone and call C.R. Smith now.
A telethon treasure dive by Andy Gray and Paul Young is being held at St Andrew's Sea Life Centre on Tuesday from 3 p.m. Admission for adults costs £2.95, children £1.95, with under fours free. So come along, have fun and support telethon. And a telethon disco is being held at Distills in Dundee on Wednesday. Admission is free. Telephone Dundee 253 11 for further information. We're now from Dundee to Bught Park in Inverness, where top-class Shinty stars battle it out for the Marine Harvest Cup.
Hello and a very warm Highland welcome to you from Inverness to the Bught Park here on the outskirts of the town for the Marine Harvest National League Cup Shinty Final. It's an event which brings together the Camanachd Association's champions from the north and from the south. Kingussie, the north champions, seldom out of the Shinty highlight, who appear in national finals year after year. And their opponents today, the league champions from the south, Glenorchy. The evening peace of the sleepy Argyll hamlet of Tainault, beneath Ben Cruachan, was broken at 7 o'clock on Monday evening as Glenorchy and Oban Camanachd took the field to settle old scores. Slowly, the spectators arrived at this neutral venue to see the crowning of this season's Division 1 South champions, and it was to be a match to remember. Soon there were hundreds around the pitch to witness this rough, tough game which was to prove a supreme test of skill, fitness and stamina. Oban the clear favourites before the start. These sides had ended the season on 24 points each, with Glenorchy bidding to reach their first major cup final, the Marine Harvest National League playoff. Oban flexed their muscle on and put Glenorchy under pressure from the word go, with their fast-moving forwards showing up well. And no one was surprised when in the 20th minute they took the lead. Donald McCallum it was who did the trick with a well-taken goal to send the Oban fans wild. 8 minutes later it was 2-0, and this time it was Dougie McVicker who was the hero, highlighting his team's superiority. Oban didn't bargain on Glenorchy's determination, however, and as referee Ian McPhee added on injury time, they struck back in dramatic style. The bustling figure of Keith McIntyre popped up in this ruck of players and put them back in the picture with a great goal. Minutes later, team captain Alan McKechnie hit a glorious second goal from half-back for the underdogs, with this league decider now beginning to assume a different complexion. Half-time and the repair kits were out in both camps, Oban half-back Peter McCush just having time for a bad gash in his forehead to be patched up before the restart. For some people, however, there were other half-time duties to attend to.
350 yellow! 350 yellow!
The second half had hardly got underway and the raffle prize had yet to be claimed when Oban shot into the lead. Number 9 Lorne Campbell hitting home this close-range effort. But that goal simply acted as a spur for the battling Glenorchy men. And when Ian Gibson stretched to knock this one past Colin MacDonald, we wondered if they could actually prove the pundits wrong and go on to win. The Oban goal was to come under siege in the dying seconds as Glenorchy battled for the winner. Ian Gibson looking here as if he were to provide it. 2 minutes to go and the dream was to become reality. 23-year-old Des McNulty supplying the reason for celebration with the decisive goal. 4-3 and referee McPhee's final whistle signalling the start of an Argyll fiesta. The Dun Cup as South champions was in the bag, and thoughts of Kingussie, Bught Park and the Marine Harvest playoff were to come later. For now, the taste of victory was sweet. For skipper McKechnie, there was relief and joy as he savoured this special moment.
Well, we're struggling with 2-0 down, but we came back in the interval at 2-2, and that really helped us because we had a wee bit of wind. Then they got that goal again, but fought back, brilliant.
You had a much better second half, didn't you?
Yeah, played it better in the second half. Bit nervous in the first half, I think. You know, first big playoff, first final, everything. Just got it to begin with.
So what do you think made all the difference? What was the big difference between the two teams?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, there's always been close games this year, apart from once they beat us 3-0, but there's not much between us. And we got a bit of luck in the day, and that was it.
Now, there were times out there where it was very rough and tumble stuff, and quite a few of your players were injured. How are they going to be fixed for the big game?
Well, I don't think it was anything serious, because most of them managed to play on, apart from Big John McPherson, who went off there, but I think it'll be all right.
Elsewhere, others had reason to be pleased. Carol Gray, a local teacher, has had responsibility for Glenorchy's team fitness.
The boys have really worked hard this year. It's them that have done it.
Now, how did you become involved with the team in the first place?
I was just asked if I could train them for the year. They were looking for a trainer, and I was asked to do it, so I said yes.
Are they easy to get on with?
Oh yeah, they're a good bunch. Oh yeah, they're excellent.
The Glenorchy Club's secretary, Jim McLaren, has been involved in Shinty for 40 years, and he hadn't seen an occasion like it.
This is the most wonderful thing that's ever happened to us. It's the biggest one, and it's by far the sweetest.
Now, why is it your team performed so well tonight, do you think?
They were superbly fit, thanks to our trainer, and they have waited for some time for this victory. They were going to have it tonight.
In fact, it may be said that part of the success might be the fact that they've grown up together as Shinty players.
I'm sure that is so. It's a family team, and they know each other's ways so well, and I think it came out tonight.
In many ways, this, I guess, was your big match, the cup final tonight. But looking ahead to the Inverness match against Kingussie, how do you think you'll fare against them?
We'll give them a game, and we'll enjoy it. Win or lose, we will enjoy it. We've played Kingussie before. It's grand to be up there among the big boys.
The morning after the night before. Below Craigmore, the sheep graze in the field they share with the Glenorchy Shinty team, as goal hero Des McNulty gets back to the reality of work as a plumber. Across the glen, he can see the croft of Dougie Livingston, the team's fullback who recently celebrated his 40th birthday. For the time being, though, this self-employed plumber has to finish off an urgent job on his mother's home. But as the tranquility of Dalmally was broken only by the traffic noise from the road to Tyndrum, Des took time to think back to the previous evening.
Been knocking on the door for a long time. And this is the first major thing we've won, so it's great to get there.
And all the players, I gather, live in and around the area?
Aye, well, as you can see over there, maybe Dougie stays over there, and just they all live about, just all within the area.
Looking ahead to Saturday's game at Inverness, what do you think you're going to do there? Because Kingussie must be the favourites.
Well, it's quite a good thing going in underdogs, but we'll be giving a good fight anyway. We won't go down easy, that's for sure.
Just a long hit away, the Glenorchy Lodge Hotel, run by a group of locals who include James Gibson, one of 3 brothers in the local team. This 27-year-old hotelier is a stalwart of the side, all of whom came up through the primary school and junior ranks of Shinty. The walls of Gibson's bar are adorned by pictures of Shinty teams of the past, underlying the commitment this area has to the historic game. The little Strathspey town of Kingussie has learned to accept Shinty success over a long period. Hardly a year has gone by in recent times without the local team being involved in at least one of the big finals. But up in Green Lane, there's no complacency. This is where Jan Grant lives. She's the wife of Donny Grant, the Kingussie manager, and a man regarded as the best Shinty coach in the business. For Jan, though, there's no thought of tactics and playing formations for the big match. Her thoughts turn to aesthetic matters and how her husband's team will look on the day. Now, Jan, I think it's about time you had a breather. I guess it's one job you really get fed up of.
Well, I've been doing it for quite a few years now, but I quite enjoy it. Except when it comes home soaking wet and filthy, it's got to be soaked and rinsed 2 or 3 times to get all the mud from the shinty pitch out, you know, but I enjoy it all right.
I suppose it does highlight the fact that Shinty is very much a community sport, that everybody's involved.
Yes, I would say so. The wives have to be involved, or, you know, they get left out, but most of them enjoy it. I'd say all of them enjoy it.
Now, you've been hearing the news over the past couple of days that Glenorchy are through to meet Kingussie in the final at Inverness. So what kind of reaction has there been in the town?
Well, I think maybe we're getting a bit blasé about it. It's happened, you know, so often. You begin to take it for granted.
And Donnie, what's he saying to it?
Well, again, he's just doing it. He treats every game as a separate game. You know, he takes each game as it comes, and he's looking forward to it as well. He always does.
Kingussie, of course, it's nothing new to them to be in an occasion like this. So do you reckon, you say they're becoming blasé, the people, do you reckon that perhaps support will be on the wane and that people think they'll win anyway?
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, that game in Skye just 2 weeks ago, that showed that they can be beaten. And, well, if any of the rest of them are like me, I always treat every game just with a wee bit of a flutter in the tummy, and you just think, well, maybe this time they could be beaten.
It sounds like you're offering a wee bit hope to Glenorchy then, are you?
Well, I wouldn't like to discourage them anyway. Oh no, I'm sure it'll be a very good game.
Yes, and I'm sure that we'll all echo Jan Grant's thoughts and feelings there and hope that we'll be in for a thrilling and entertaining match. We'll be bringing you that match very shortly, of course, but in the meantime, it's time for us to take a break. Join us again.
I'll get back to you. New Golden Wonder Crisps. So much crisper and so much tastier than ever before. You must have another. Please yourselves. Golden Wonder's best ever crisps.
Burnt the toast. Went to the dentist. Girlfriend hung up on me. Forgot my raincoat. Nothing on the box. Fancy the usual.
Not a dry blackthorn day.
Follow me, Metro number 1. 5-speed box, okay. Hurry. New suspension, okay. Wait. Show me. Not specified. Enhance. Rover engine not specified. Divert engine. Engine oversize, engine oversize. Enlarge car, reposition engine. Enjoy.
Like a shot this morning. Boss had the day off. Girl in accounts came back. Nice weather for ducks. United won. Away. Pint of dry blackthorn, please.
Definitely a dry blackthorn day.
Welcome back then to the Buck Park here at Inverness for the Marine Harvest League Cup final, Glenorchy against Kingussie. We're looking forward to 90 minutes of thrills, spills and action as we join our commentators Ian Cameron and the man you're hearing first, Ian Anderson.
So the Kingussie side, they are the champions. In goal, Ian Anderson, who's the captain. Number 2, Michael Thane, big defender. 3, Davy Thompson. 4, Stephen Borthwick, who's dropped back into defence from an attacking role. Number 5 in his usual place, Rory Fraser. 6 is Ali Dallas. Jimmy Gow is 7. And Ross Grant has come in at number 8. Number 9 is the familiar figure of Dave Anderson. Number 10, Kevin Thane. 11 is David Borthwick, who's changed with his brother Stephen. And 12, Angus McKaiser. The Glenorchy side in their familiar jerseys, black and white stripes there. Fergus McFarlane Barrow is the goalkeeper. Dougie Livingston is number 2. Then John Carron 3. Alan McKechnie 4, big blonde fellow. Number 5 is Duncan Morrison, about whom there was a doubt until today with a foot injury. Number 6, James Gibson, one of several Gibson brothers. Number 7, Magnus McFarlane Barrow, who is the captain. Number 8, another of these Gibsons, Gordon in this case. Number 9 is Ian Gibson. 10 is Keith McIntyre. John McPherson is 11, and Desi McNulty 12, the Glenorchy side. So the referee is Brian Davis of Fort William, and throwing up now Jimmy Gow and Magnus McFarlane Barrow competing and getting the game underway. Must be said, in absolutely splendid conditions here at the Bught. And immediately we've got Glenorchy in attack. And Kevin Thane, no trouble in recognising him with the head bandage. And a lot of pace and a lot of ball control, as you can see there, running deep into the heart of the Glenorchy defence. And, well, the referees let that go and played advantage, and immediately a shot there. And that one well over the top, but a very threatening run from Kevin Thane. He made a lot of ground, Ian Cameron, didn't he there? That's slightly worrying.
Yes, it certainly is a worry for the Glenorchy defence that they should come in and take the full back on, and it was a good try by Dave Borthwick.
Who, incidentally, is, of course, playing in some senses out of position, Ian, isn't he?
That's right. It's interesting to see that the Borthwick brothers have reversed roles today. They're both very adaptable players, both very similar in style. Interesting move from Kingussie.
Yeah, number 6 is Ali Dallas in your picture there, and a well-known figure in the Kingussie strip.
Yeah.
And this is a fairly well-known fellow too, isn't it? And a redoubtable player, Alan.
Alan will be very important to Glenorchy today. He's a very strong player, long hitter.
Long and loud blast from Brian Davis. Little bit of obstruction. And yeah, this is John McPherson, who sustained an injury to his arm on Monday night, but happily is restored to the Glenorchy side. McIntyre is looking for Ian Gibson, running. Oh, and Michael Thane with the challenge. That's a little push, I think, against Michael Thane, number 2 there. That challenge on John McPherson, who's one of the biggest members of the strike force in what is quite a diminutive side. There's another little scoop and the chance there, and it's put away for the corner. No chances being taken by Ian Anderson. Must see the goalkeeper's got a fine name. So the first corner. Chance here, and a chance and a magnificent shot. That's Keith McIntyre with a marvellous strike. The ball came over from the corner, and Keith McIntyre teed it up and lashed it into the net past the startled Ian Anderson. And is he ever pleased? We're 2 minutes 45 seconds into the match, and Keith McIntyre has just lashed in a marvellous goal. Maybe you'll talk us through it, Ian.
Yes, the corner came across. The full-back Thane actually tried to to pull it down. He's just out of the picture there. You'll see him going out to tackle McIntyre, but he got a shot in. Gave the goalkeeper no chance at all.
So one has to say that that is an upset, but certainly not ill-deserved in the run of play. This is Ian Gibson scooping it and putting it by there. But if Kingussie thought they were here on an easy ride, they've got other thoughts now, Ian.
They've started off very tentatively. They certainly haven't got into any sort of rhythm at this moment. I think even this early in the game, Ian, the wind is playing a significant part, and that's the reason why Dalmally Glenorchy have had so much of the play up there at the moment.
Because they have the benefit of the wind. This is McIntyre. The challenge was by Rory Fraser. And Kevin Thane looking to make ground there. He made ground in vain because of the challenge that was made. Duncan Morrison. That was a poor hit from Jimmy Gow. And that, with the benefit of the wind, has set play right down there to McNulty and across to Ian Gibson, who's boring in. Ali Dallas challenging. And McIntyre again strikes it long and hard. There's another chance here for McNulty. He's tripped. The referee decides that there is no infringement. Certainly looked like a trip from here. As Magnus Barrow tries to thwart Kevin Thane. Nice bit of running there from McIsaac. He's coming in. McKechnie doing the stopping.
Yes, and I think that showed the difficulty that Glenorchy are going to have. Livingston was pulled out wide, didn't make a tackle, and exposed his defence.
Yeah, and that was something that you imagine might well happen. They'll be wanting to run the veteran of the side, Dougie Livingston, around this huge ground. And remember, there's another game going on this afternoon at Hampden. This ground 1.5 times the size of the Hampden pitch. So Ali Dallas strikes it well. Dave Anderson and Kevin Thane between them. Cowan clears it. Isaac, intervention from Livingston. He gets another bite at the cherry. This is Borthwick. Well taken clear by Barrow. I think you'll forgive me calling him Barrow, but Magnus McFarlane Barrow is really quite a moniker.
Good.
So, John Cowan, one of the quickest men in the side, who well may be picking up Dave Anderson, getting that well downfield. Yes, a little bit of play there that went noticed by the referee. So Barrow again. With the advantage of the wind, he'll strike this right into the D. It's well cut out by Rory Fraser. Jimmy Gow. Borthwick can't get to that. Gow can. Barrow drives it across field, but such is the force of the hit, it's out on the other side. So, Ian, you would reckon that Glenorchy would be looking to be a couple of goals clear to turn to play into this quite strong breeze?
I feel they would be very pleased to be 2 ahead at half-time. They've just had the one opportunity on goal and scored with it in the second minute. But so far, they've had more territorial advantage than Kingussie have. And as I said earlier, that really is as a result of the strong wind that's in their favour.
So Ross Grant on the far touchline, knocking it through. Kevin Thane and Alan McKechnie, strong striker that he is. Pushed up there as Dallas comes across. Fighting with Gibson. This is Borthwick. Little scoop pass for McIsaac. Turn neatly inside as Thane closes. It's well picked up there. And it's a bye hit. There was a wee chance of a corner there, but it's in fact gone for the bye. And Duncan Morrison getting back there to do some useful defending as well. Gordon Gibson, who gave it to Keith McIntyre. Knocked in there by McNulty. McPherson closes. Still gets another chance at it. And he really provides some of the physical presence in the Glenorchy attack, doesn't he?
Quite a big threat there, Ian. But they are playing with lots of confidence. Well, they have come here as underdogs, but they've made a good start, and this will give them confidence as the game goes on.
That's John McPherson, who was in your picture there. And the second corner. It's Gibson taking in. Gordon Gibson. There are so many Gibsons, must try and identify them all. This is Keith McIntyre, who scored the goal, making room for himself. It's well cleared by Michael Thane. Borthwick and McKechnie. The dark-haired and the fair-haired, and it's the fair-haired fellow who comes out on top. That's Alan McKechnie. Go, not able to clear it. Dallas does. And as you were saying, Ian, the effect of the wind quite noticeable as Keith McIntyre puts it away wide for Desi McNulty. McIntyre having another shot, and that came off the goalkeeper. It's another goal. It's another goal, a second goal. I think it's Ian Gibson who's got it. It's Ian Gibson who got the second, and that came from a crashing shot from Keith McIntyre, who we've been stressing the advantage of the wind. McIntyre, let's see what happens. McNulty knocks it in delightfully. It comes across field. It's picked up there by Keith McIntyre, who immediately shoots at goal. Ian Anderson stops it, but it comes straight to the cannon of Ian Gibson. It's goal number 2. So that's Ian Anderson with a good head against the wind. And Dave Anderson lying very deep indeed, having to. Jimmy Gow now coming clear. That's beautifully scooped up. Borthwick with McKechnie, but well passed.
McKechnie backed him well there. He didn't allow him a sight of the goals. And Borthwick may have passed the ball, in fact. He had the opportunity to put it across the goal.
Now, on your immediate left there is Donny Grant just rubbing his nose contemplatively and a little bit concerned at this stage. His side are 2 down, and he's not entirely sure that things are going the way he wants them to. Don Cowan bringing that down nicely. But Dave Anderson, as I was saying, lying pretty deep. McIsaac drifting wide, trying to pull out Dougie Livingston. That's a nice ball for Borthwick. Just failed to control it, or that could have been dangerous. Kechnie's chest doing the clearing. Duncan Patterson in there. That's a great shot by Kevin Thane, and a chance and a goal. I think it's Angus McIsaac who got it. I think it's Angus McIsaac who got one back there.
Yes, I think Angus McIsaac's getting the credit, but it looked to me as if almost the fullback had put the ball in the net. I think that...
Well, just let's have a look, and we'll make up our minds. 17.5 minutes gone. Kevin Thane it is. He has the shot. It's well saved. It comes back out. McIsaac. Well, it's difficult to tell, isn't it?
Yes, it may have been McIsaac that got the last touch. He's certainly claiming it.
So McNulty coming away with this long run of his deep into defence. Rory Fraser tracks him and finally gets it clear. So it's Kevin Thane who did the damage, and it's Kevin Thane who whacks that downfield. McIsaac comes again as Livingston comes across and misses, and Borthwick goes in. Gives it to McIsaac. He's got a chance here, and so has Borthwick. In it goes. That one was Borthwick's goal. It's 2-2 in the space of a minute. 18.5 minutes gone, and it's David Borthwick who put that one in.
Yes,
Dougie
again,
Livingston.
as with the first goal, it was the Glenorchy's inability to clear the ball from defence, allowed Kingussie to come in and get a second chance. They're really going to have to be positive in their clearances if they're going to be able to stay in the game.
Well, it's nicely balanced, but just 2 little thrusts of the Kingussie magic there, Ian.
2 long searching balls from Kevin Thane which weren't cleared, and the other forwards following in took possession, and that was it.
John Cowan whacks that out of play.
So that was fairly typical of Kingussie. Once they've scored once, they come back again very quickly and try and consolidate. And they did well to put it in the second time. Glenorchy have really got to dig in here and not lose any more goals at this stage.
Well, there's young Master Grant. I dare say this worried look's gone off his father's face now. But again, it's Thane coming through and controlling. Was that a trip? The referee thinks not. Borthwick with the chance, and by Jove, that wasn't far away. That was not far away. David Borthwick holding his head. He put one in a moment ago.
He's wondering how that one could possibly miss the goals. But again, it was Thane that did the damage. On the ground, he scooped it across. Stevens could have done better that time, but it was just past the post.
So, Fergus McFarlane Barrow, brother of the captain, just getting it up into the centre of the field. Jimmy Gow failing to clear. A little bit of tripping going on there with the Cameron, and so another chance.
I think Kingussie have really moved up a gear now, Ian, and they're getting first to the ball, finding the men better.
Thane again. Thane tries it himself. A great stop by Barrow. He just manages to keep that out. That was jolly close. But what a dangerous fellow this Kevin Thane is. The leading goal scorer for Kingussie this season.
Absolutely deadly in front of goals. And he never loses the ball, because even when he doesn't put it in the net, it's coming off the goalkeeper and giving them a second chance.
Kevin Thane is wearing the helmet because he got a nasty crack against Skye. How long ago, Ian?
That's just 2 weeks ago, in fact. And he's wearing it just for a little extra protection.
Another goal there. That was Dave Anderson. Got one bite at the cherry, whacked it in. 21.5 minutes gone, and David Anderson, about whom we were saying he was not in the game, got one snippet and a half chance and in again. But it was a forced error, or rather an unforced error on the part of Glenorchy. Across came the corner from Kevin Thane again. It was missed in defence, and Dave Anderson whacked it into the net. Rory Fraser is now coming into his own. A lovely little dummy there from Dallas. Borthwick, and he knew exactly where McIsaac was going to be. Look at the inside reverse pass, back to Borthwick. A shooting chance for him. Oh, and beautifully shot, and a very, very close thing. What a nice bit of play that was.
This is indeed a purple patch for Kingussie. He knew exactly, after having made the pass outfield, came in and picked it up on the penalty spot, and it was just gone over the top.
By Jove, that wasn't far away.
Great play.
But end-to-end stuff, and Glenorchy in attack now. Gordon Gibson, we've got 25 minutes played. They trail 2-3. A chance for McPherson, and he wasn't far away too. In fact, it was Ian Gibson who made the shot in the end.
Yes, he got the space to get the shot in there. It's just a pity he didn't get it on the goals, because they can't afford to pass up too many opportunities now, as their centre line has been pulled downfield and their forwards have got to come well out to get the ball.
McIsaac turning and beating Livingston. He's got support from Borthwick inside, but Livingston gets back. But now decked as Kevin Thane turns. Sets it up for Borthwick, but McKechnie intervenes. Barrow, who's not quite as effective now as he was in the opening 15 minutes. Gets it up there to McIntyre, who's looking for his buddy, McNulty. There he is. Support from McPherson, who's going to have to run for that one. Striving and tussling. But what we are seeing is a very open, thrilling kind of game, end to end, and lots of movement and fluency.
Just the sort of game that suits Kingussie on this good surface. They like to move the ball around. You can see how easily they find their men. You'll see now that McNulty's having to come further and further out to collect the ball, and he's that much further away from the goals when he puts it in.
McIntyre and McNulty between them. There's a tremendous guddle there at the goal post. And McPherson is being remonstrated with by Borthwick. You can see for yourself, and Michael Payne is the peacemaker in the middle. Yes. Perhaps you come with me, Mr. Borthwick. The referee is Brian Davis, of course, and, well, he has a reputation of being a bit of a stickler for discipline. And Mr. McPherson also being spoken to. So, it's the corner. It's high and dangerous. In come the Gibson brothers, but they lose track of it. Well, Dallas seemed to be bundled over there. And then tripped, but that one was accidental. Well, that's a bit lively, is it not? Yeah, it's like the best of three falls there as Dave Anderson and Magnus Barrow contest things. Chance here.
Looks like a corner,
a corner, I think. Yes, and there's a bit of speaking going on here. The referee's not happy with the series of incidents. He wants Ian Gibson to come and have a word with him. Gibson was the victim of what looked to be an accidental trip by Ali Dallas, but he certainly wasn't. Maybe he was protesting too much. Jimmy Gow, a nice little touch. His Cameron was caught there illegally. Oh.
Yes, I think that probably was accidental, but Magnus seemed to have Jimmy's stick under his arm as he was running for it. Not allowed to the referee.
He's not entirely pleased with the decision, as you say. It was an accidental thing. And Jimmy Gow acknowledges that there with a wee smile. McIntyre trying to thwart McIsaac. And I suppose the longer the game goes, the more the sharp front running of the Kingussie attack is going to bother Dougie Livingston.
It is. You notice that when he comes out, he makes the tackle, but he's losing his footing quite a lot, and then he's losing the ball.
Kevin Payne setting up a hitting chance. Gibson intervenes. A chance here for Anderson, and a goal. Now that was a goal by Dave Anderson, his second glimpse of goal from almost exactly the same position, and he made no mistake as he put it into the back of the net on the lateral hit. So there's Stephen Borthwick in the Kingussie strip. He's gone into the defence. We're almost at the end of the first half.
They'll want to try and reduce the deficit before the half-time whistle.
Well, that was not taken out properly. Patterson. It's McNulty, but Borthwick just sets it up for him. Look at the lovely little pass. Great sign of assurance there. And Dallas looking for the other Borthwick, Dave.
Morrison, you see, playing against Kevin Thane, is carrying his leg is heavily bandaged from the injury he received earlier in the week.
So this fellow in the picture now with a head bandage, Kevin Thane, arguably the most significant contributor in this first half.
Yes, he's caused Glenorchy a great deal of trouble.
So at the end of the first half, Glenorchy trailing to the champions Kingussie by 4 goals to 2.
ESSA are proud to announce their World Cup coin collection. There are 30 to collect, each one featuring a player from the English or Scottish World Cup squads. Start collecting at participating ESSO stations now, and you'll be on to a real winner.
Come on, this way. Are you sure this is the right place? how to tattoo, will he?
Right, I'm going to get Grandma now. Try and keep them clean, please.
Kate, don't! Boys!
Is that top on properly, Kate?
That's enough!
It was only an accident.
Hands up.
Sorry.
Come on then, put your shirt on. Yeah! Excuse me. That's it.
Mummy's here!
Hello, darling.
Come on, Grandma.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I've even done the washing.
Washing? What washing?
Perso. It's one of the family.
Second half is underway. Jimmy Gow getting his gammon to and first touch as Glenorchy, with a lot of work to do, are off and running, and it was Duncan Morrison with the first touch. McPherson trying to beat Thompson unsuccessfully, comes clear. Nice little touch for the big fellow, and another big fellow, Rory Fraser, using the wind for the first time. Borthwick and McIsaac trying to make ground, and immediately in goes Borthwick, and the clearance is by Barrow. Gibson, and Thane. Gibson does very well to come clear. Gordon Gibson, very strong running. This is McIntyre. A nice little turn, he does well there. He's got very little support though. You see he's stranded out there on the side. His brother Ian Gibson. Can he get past Michael Payne? Rory Fraser. But most of the play happening now in the Glenorchy half. Borthwick putting it through for Thane. Oh, well, he's a little premature there.
Touch of desperation there about that clearance from
Duncan Morrison. Not normally given to these sort of rash impulses.
You'll see he has his leg heavily bandaged. He may in fact be feeling the injury he's carrying.
Duncan Morrison works in the railway. A sleeper fell on his foot, which must have been rather painful. Corner, Thane, was he nudged there? Dave Anderson's in, Thane again, on the turn. And Anderson, reverse hit, and the reverse strike, and that's Dave Anderson's hat-trick. 5 minutes into the second half, and Dave Anderson gets his hat-trick and puts Kingussie into what's probably an unassailable lead of 5 goals to 2.
Well, that was unfortunate for Dougie Livingston. He got there to the ball, but he failed to clear it decisively. It's coming back in from Kevin Thane, and you'll see that he doesn't get it away. He's lost his footing, and bang, good drive. But again, it shows the problem that the Glenorchy defenders are having of clearing the ball decisively first time. They can't afford to give Anderson a second chance.
Well, he's had 3 sniffs of goal, and he's got a hat-trick here.
It's nice to see him come back to form. He's had a difficult season with injuries. In fact, had a cartilage operation earlier in the season.
So McPherson and Thompson running to the line, and Dave Thompson putting it out. James McPherson just indicating where it ought to be. This is Gordon Gibson who's going to take the shy. And Glenorchy at last in an attacking situation. To Magnus. That's legitimate use of the foot, but wasted chance. We've got a chance, Ian, just to talk about tactically what's happening with the way Glenorchy are attacking the Kingussie defence now. Kingussie are repelling them.
Yes, Kingussie are playing the game wide and exposing Glenorchy. Glenorchy are playing a much more direct game from centre field, and the Kingussie defenders can punch there and stop the ball so much easier.
So Borthwick turning an infield. That man Thane again with a sight of goal, and he'll have a quick snapshot, and it's well saved by Barrow, but there's another chance. A bit of pushing going on, but the goal goes in. The goal goes in. We think it's Angus McIsaac. 7 minutes, it's Angus McIsaac. We're not entirely sure that he ought to get the credit, but we think so, in which case it'll be the second.
I think it probably was Angus, but again it was a situation of not clearing the ball. Kane's in good shooting position here, and the goalkeeper did well to stop it first time. But it was spinning in the air, and it's McIsaac who's there. Goalkeeper just didn't get his block in, through his legs, in the net.
McNulty trying to come through, and Rory Fraser, he's not an easy fellow to come through on, but he does well. He beats him, and he's got a bit of running, and Rory Fraser chasing him. That's a nice bit of play. Well taken out by Michael Thane. But you see, when Fraser is beaten, one big fellow is beaten, there's another big fellow waiting there.
Yeah, that's right, but unfortunately the pass into the centre was long and high and allowed Thane to get his body behind it. This is the
Thane going through, Kevin Thane, and he had very little trouble there. He had a clear run in on goal as soon as Glenorchy threatened. 29 minutes played, and Kevin Thane, that most dangerous of forwards, scoring an absolute cracker.
There he is. Just missed the tackle, but Borthwick knocked it on, and in he comes. Waits for the goalkeeper to come out. No trouble.
Yes, foot play, says the referee. And Glenorchy happy to hear that. What are they going to get up to here? They've got a free hit. Of course, they cannot score direct, so they've got to set up a little ploy. Keith McIntyre's
right.
Much involved. There you are, the set up, and passed.
Yes, it was well set up. It was obvious that Keith McIntyre and Des McNulty had something on that time. It just didn't quite strike cleanly, and it bounced past the post. They're showing a very high standard of fitness today, which I think would impress the forebears.
Lovely play by Borthwick, trailing the ball in to Kevin Thane. And another tremendous chance there. And that was Russell Jones with the goal. Russell Jones with his first shot, he whacked that in. 5 minutes played, and it's 8-2. Have a look at this. Ian Cameron will talk you through it.
Yes, it was Kevin and Russell got into a little mix-up, but Russell got the shot in, and he did very well.
Donny Grant at the back of your picture there on the touchline. The clash of cannons echoing round the ground here.
The clash of the ash, as they say.
That's what they say. McIsaac flicking it, Dougie Livingston, and the ricochet, and that's a bye hit.
I think perhaps we should say something about Dougie Livingston there. He has had a very difficult time of it. He's 40 years of age. He's given a great deal to the Glenorchy club. Been one of the stalwarts of South Shinty for a long time, and it's just a little unfortunate for him today that he's had such a difficult time against it. But look, he's still enjoying himself just the same.
And he may enjoy the after-game celebrations even more.
He will remember the occasion, even if they have been defeated heavily.
So McKechnie and McIntyre between them. Cannons flashing in all directions. And bodies. We reckon we've got about 2 minutes to go, and that the lead which Kingussie enjoy is quite substantial. Loud blast in the whistle. James Gibson is having a lecture. And clearly is not enjoying it. In fact, it's more than a lecture. He's having his name taken. Do you see what that was for?
Scarcely necessary, I think, at this stage of the game. There was a clash of commons. I don't think there was any intent in it.
No malice intended, but Brian Davis, the referee from Fort William, is writing assiduously. He's been sent off. He's been sent off. That is quite extraordinary. James Gibson has been sent off in the last minute.
I think actually, Ian, he was booked earlier in the game, and this is what we were saying earlier, that he got booked for a triviality earlier on, and to be sent off in the last minute of a National League final like this, when he's tried so hard, that is a great pity.
Well, it certainly smacks of perhaps a little bit of insensitivity on the part of the referee. That was Russell Jones and Michael Clark, the two subs in action, and Dave Anderson now on the trail on the outside. And a body check there and a free hit to Kingussie.
Well, this is the last opportunity we'll have of seeing Kingussie this season. This is the last major final they're involved in, and it really has been a treat to see how they've dominated this game.
A chance in for McIsaac. The whistle goes for no side, and the winners of the Marine Harvest National League Cup final here at the Bught, Kingussie, they have gone clear and gone home and lifted the cup by 8 goals to 2.
Kevin Thane, you must have been particularly pleased with that performance this afternoon.
Yes, I'm delighted with it, yeah. The team played well. 2 goals down, but we got our game together and we came through.
But your own performance was particularly good, wasn't it?
Well, I wouldn't have minded a couple more goals, but as long as the team play well and we get a win, then that's all that really matters.
Now, you were 2-0 down at one point. Were you concerned then? Were you worried?
No, not really, no. We feel if we get the ball in up to our forwards, then we'll score, you know. I wasn't really too much troubled, you know.
Well, Dougie Livingston from Glenorchy, the oldest man on the park, and apart from the referee, of course. How did you feel about your performance?
Well, I think we acted all right. We got off to a great start, but the Kingussie came back at us very quickly and then took over. But we never lay down to them right enough, and overall I think we didn't do too badly. You know, our first day in and playing conditions are a vast improvement of what we're used to.
But what was going through your mind when you found yourself 2-0 up very early on? What were you thinking then?
Well, thought it might be our day, but I'm afraid it wasn't. So it was just the way it goes. They are a very good outfit, very sharp.
And the thing is, once they got in front, there was no letting up, was there?
No, they kept us pinned back. We had no answer to get back into the game. If we'd got another goal back when it was after half time, when it was just 4-2, we might have done something, but when they got more, that was it.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did enjoy it, aye.
Well, enjoy yourselves tonight, lads. Thank you. There we are then. The Marine Harvest League Cup goes once more to Kingussie, who showed on the day they were by far the more superior side. But our commiserations to Glenorchy on putting up such a marvellous performance. That's it then from the Buck Park here in Inverness, getting a wee bit chilly now as we come to the end of the day. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back once more with Shinty in 2 weeks' time on this channel, the Camanachd Cup final, Sky Camanachd against Newton Moor. We do hope you can join us then. Until then, goodbye.
There's some great action coming up, but I bet you there's going to be